Hey, I just moved into a new apartment, and what that means is one of the first things I need to do is connect to a new home network. That's something I never really look forward to doing because ISPs are never really that easy to work with, and there's always something. So when I first moved into this new place, I only had kind of one ISP option. The ISP, Cox, provided a complimentary gateway router with the installation and my service. And if you actually look into the fine print, it says $15 rental fee. So that adds an extra $15 a month to my bill, and they don't stop charging you that after 1 year. They keep going. So you're paying, 180 plus bucks for a mediocre router. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So obviously I wanted to look for a better option. The router that they provided was decent. It covered the house, but it wasn't high end. It wasn't really like up to date. It wasn't something I wanted to spend more than $15 at all, period, for. And so I immediately started looking for other options. However, I just bought a bunch of furniture and other things for this house. And so my budget was way smaller than what I intended it to be for a home network. And I'm not saying that I wanted to skimp out. A home network is basically the most important thing you can have other than water, food, and electricity, because everything runs on the internet these days. I'll preface with this: my network at my last place with my roommate, he had a Verizon 5G home network receiver Wi-Fi gateway, and it wasn't the best. I can say that we had pretty frequent dropouts, and the speeds weren't that great. It just depended on the day and the weather, honestly. So I wasn't used to having the best of the best internet, and I really realized that I don't need the best of the best internet. I stream maybe 1 or 2 movies a week, maybe a TV show. I work from home only 1 day a week. I have some smart home capable items, but I don't need a gigabit speed. So I chose the lowest tier that you could get, and I figured that was going to be fine. So I used that as my basis for what kind of router I wanted to look for and what kind of network I wanted to get set up. And I went out on the hunt. Routers and most modern modems and gateways are between $100 and $200. Some even go up to $300 and $400 if you want the latest Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E mesh capabilities. And I just don't need that. I have a very simple setup at my house. And although you're supposed to, buy for the future, I just decided I am going to try to find something simple and satisfies all of my needs without needing anything super crazy. I saw an old Airport Extreme. It was one of the big old, it basically looks like a giant Apple TV or like one of the old style Mac Minis. And I saw one at a thrift store for like 30 bucks. And I was like, this is so cool. What if I got something like this? And so I did some quick research while I was there standing in the thrift store. And I was like, oh, well, these are very old. Probably not the best thing for me. But I did research a little bit more while I was standing there. And I saw that there was a very recent version that Apple had released. I say recent, it's about 8 years old by now. So for anybody who doesn't know, Apple actually made their own line of really great Wi-Fi routers for a little over a decade. More specifically, they sort of pioneered the wireless computer connection market when it came to Wi-Fi chips and routers in the early 2000s, back when it was really expensive and rare to get the quality equipment to do so.
Well, but there is one more thing. There is one more thing. Let me just show this to you for a minute, okay? Here, let me show them show these guys how it works. Come on over here. You want to sit behind me there? Yeah. So I can just go to Disney.com here. No wires. Airports, wireless networking.
So in true Apple fashion, they came out with their own line of chips that you could add into your computer and Wi-Fi routers with extremely intuitive user interfaces, incredible connection speeds for the time, and of course, completely unique product design. There are tons of great videos about the Apple Airport history, so if you want to check those out, I'll try to link some below on the description. The last consumer router they sold was released in 2013 and discontinued from the market in 2018. So for the time, this was a really top-of-the-line router. with crazy good connection options and speeds that honestly rival a lot of the budget Wi-Fi systems still being sold in stores today in 2024. In fact, the specs to the 6th Gen Airport Extreme are pretty comparable to this gateway router that I was renting from this ISP. And with a lot of research and a lot of digging into forums with dedicated people claiming their decade-old routers are still working perfectly for their home networking setups, I decided I was going to give this one a try. I tried looking them up on eBay. I tried to find them in local thrift stores. I didn't really have any luck. So what I did is I found one actually on this website called goodwillfinds.com, which is an official online retail store for Goodwill stores for $20. And so I pushed the buy button really quick. So here it is. It just arrived. I'm going to open this up and I'm so excited. Lots of paper, that's good to see. It's really well packed for Goodwill standards. Here it is. I think it is, this is like bomb proof. Okay, this is really, really like well packed. Sorry, this has to be the worst sound in the world. Okay, I'm in. Yes, here we go. Ooh. Wow. The fact that this box is in perfect condition so far is really impressive. I did not expect it to come with the box. It showed a box in the picture, but it was Goodwill online. I didn't know what to expect from that because I've never heard of it before. Once again, very well packed. Like, this is so tough to open. Try not to damage the box because this is like in such good condition. Can't get over it that this is $20. Okay, here it is. Oh my gosh. Wow, all right. So it comes with this cable. This goes into the wall. It's a little dirty. And so is this. Just a little dirty, but here it is. This is basically it. I guess I can wipe it down, but the quality of this looks a little dirty. It's definitely used, but I mean, $20, I really couldn't ask for anything better. It actually still comes with the setup guide instructions, which is just so cool. I mean, this was from 2013. Oh, actually, this says 2016 on here. This must have been a later production model. Wow, it's just like instructions on how to set this up, which I won't be reading because I already watched videos on how to do this. Super cool that it comes with all of this. It came with the original box and documentation, power cable, obviously, and that's pretty much it. But the original box and documentation, congrats on the person who kept that and then donated it to Goodwill. Good for them and good for me because I love looking at old Apple tech. Honestly, I'm so excited to get this set up and see how it works. Keep in mind that this retailed for $200 during its run, and to get it for 20 bucks is crazy. I don't know. I feel like you can never buy any Apple product for less than $50. It's not in the best condition, but when I looked up the serial number, it actually showed that it was sold in 2018, which is when this product was discontinued, which means this was probably one of the last production units to be sold in retail stores. That's really neat. And it's good to know that this is a newer, less used device, hopefully. I guess we'll see. Basically, this is considered a Wi-Fi 5 router with 802.11 AC standard, which can theoretically allow wireless speeds up to 600 megabits per second, although Apple marketed this as 1.3 gigabits per second. Crazy for the time that it ran between 2013 and 2018, but that's pretty standard these days. I'll truly only be utilizing about half of that speed right now, so even if I do upgrade my bandwidth in the near future, this should still hold up just fine. So buying an older router obviously comes with inherent risks, such as devices being stuck on unsupported, outdated, and vulnerable firmware, and potential compatibility issues with newer devices over time. I'm not too worried about the risks that come with this because this proves to be a very solid device from all of the things that I've read from people still using many of these devices over the past decade, basically. Also, the continued support of this product is kind of astounding to me. Even on the latest version of macOS and iOS, there is the built-in airport utility that pops up and you can use to connect so easily. Just the fact that it's included in the newest version of macOS, they haven't deleted it as a feature, is so wild to me, because Apple is really good about making a product and then kicking support. Like buy iTunes, that doesn't exist on macOS anymore. So the fact that this one remains is bizarre to me. I'm really excited to try this out. So keep in mind that this retailed for $200 during its run. So it wasn't exactly a super expensive router at the time, but it wasn't a very affordable and accessible router for a majority of the people. I can imagine most people would look at this and say $200 for a router, that's stupid. I can buy one for $70 at Best Buy. I'm gonna do just a quick little wipe down because there are marks all over this. It's a router, it's gonna be hidden for the most part, so I'm not too worried about that, but if it comes off, I will be very happy. All right, I think that's as good as it's gonna get for now. So on the back of this, there's the power supply, which is built in, the Ethernet in, a USB, which is actually really neat because you can plug in a printer or a external hard drive and actually use those devices through the network via this. I know a lot of other routers have this capability, but the fact that Apple put it in is really thoughtful. It's just USB 2.0 speeds, so, and then 3 external Ethernet ports for gigabit speeds. That's the fun part, trying to set it up. Did somebody just have this in their closet the whole time? I'm just going to plug this in here, like that. Any figure 8 cable will work, honestly. I could get any cable. Quick plug. And it's on. It was flashing amber, which basically means that it cannot connect to the internet. And what it's showing is that there is actually a user already established on this called the treehouse, which must have been a cool house. But there's a reset button on the back. I'm just going to push and hold until the light flashes again. Okay, so now on my phone, it actually said set up new airport base station. And it's preparing, and I don't actually have this connected to the internet right now, so we'll see if this works. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick speed test just to show you the current speeds that I'm getting. This is megabits per second, 298, 300. It's pretty good. This is the best I've gotten so far. And then 20 up, so. All right, settings are up. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it on my phone. It has create a new network, other options. I'm just gonna rename it what I have already so that all my stuff will transfer over to it automatically. Save password. It gives me the option to save the password onto the device, which is super cool. It's gonna create a network. It's waiting for an Ethernet cable to be plugged in now. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and set it up without the internet connection. I'm gonna continue anyway. Airport analytics. I am going to send these to Apple because I wonder if they've got a team who reviews these. Next, setting up this airport extreme to create a network. I don't have to type in a IP address or anything to be able to change any settings. It just popped up automatically on my thing. Thank you, Apple. This is so nice. I wish everything was this easy. All right, I got everything set up. I'm connected, and I'm going to go ahead and do a quick speed test. So far, this is exactly the same as it was through the ISP. I mean, this is what I pay for, so I don't expect it to be any better than this. This is great. It's great to see that I'm getting the exact same speeds. So, because the modem is not built into the airport, I actually had to get a different modem. The gateway that I'm renting, it's a modem with a Wi-Fi router built into it. I had to get a separate device. I picked one up from Goodwill for $5. We'll see if it works. Other than that, I'm gonna go try to set both of those items up and sync them together and see what I can do. Okay, so it's been actually a couple weeks since I set everything up, and you know what? It's been perfect. Not only has my Wi-Fi been essentially uninterrupted in every single corner of my apartment, I've also been seeing upstream and downstream speeds that are faster than what I pay for, which is really funny. Just don't tell my ISP. I've been getting an average of 200 to 300 megabits per second down and about 20 to 50 megabits per second up, which I think is really great. And honestly, that's what I pay for. So the fact that it's able to keep up with the speeds that I pay for is just perfect. I mean, if I wanted to pay for an even better plan, I'm sure this thing could even keep up with that, up to 500 megabits per second. This thing is 6 years old. All the tech people recommend Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 7 routers, and this is Wi-Fi 5. Overall, I've just been having a great great experience with it so far. All of my HomeKit devices are connected seamlessly. I have had zero hiccups, zero cut interruptions. It just works perfect, and I literally could not be more impressed by how quick and easy it was to set everything up. So although this is not the nicest, newest, latest, greatest Wi-Fi setup, it works perfect for me. It works perfect for the speeds I need. It's been working flawlessly, and that's all I can ask for. Paying $40 total for everything in my package: router, modem, all the Ethernet cables. I got a bag of 5 Ethernet cables from Goodwill for $5. So it's like, how much more budget could you get? I'm happy to use a piece of tech that still performs, even though it's not as up to date. So easy to manage. I can change the password from my settings app on my iPhone. So good job, Apple. That's all I can say. So I ended up finding another one of these bad babies at Goodwill for $8.50. It's actually been quite a few months since I started this video, and honestly, I'm kind of glad I waited because I wanted to pick another one of these up to see if it was possible to use it as an extender, because the far end of my apartment, I don't get the best signal. Also on the back patio, sometimes I go work on my computer out there, and so I got this in hopes of fixing and mitigating that little issue. You can basically just plug it in and add it to the network, and it can bounce the Wi-Fi, you know, like every other Wi-Fi extender. But for $8.50, I figured, why not go ahead and try it? Other than that, it's been great. I've had no issues. Not a single thing has popped up. No restarts, no nothing. Everything, I plugged it in and it was fine. So would I recommend these? Absolutely, because they're so cheap, they're so easy to find, they're so easy to set up if you have Apple devices already in your home. You can set everything up and manage everything right from those devices. Super foolproof way to get your home connected to the internet. Pick one of these things up because, like I said, I've had zero issues for 5 months, and hopefully they continue to serve my little internet connected household for the foreseeable future. But otherwise, thanks for watching.